All right, we are talking 405A Division II with Prosper Walnut Grove head coach and reigning coach of the year for the show, Tommy Allison. As you can see, his bobblehead sticking around the corner there. Coach, last year was pretty sweet for you. Not only did you get that sweet bobblehead, which I'm sure was the cusp of the whole year, the high point, but you got to sneak up on squads. People really didn't know a lot about you. You played a rogue schedule the year before because you were just getting adapted and what have you. You get in district play, well, they ain't scared of you no more this year. Or whatever that factor you had last year of being able to sneak up on people where you're wearing shoes with Tic Tacs in them or something now, because they certainly hear you coming now. How has that made you adjust your off season, or has it made you adjust now that people know what you got on your team?
Yeah, first of all, thanks. I'm grateful for this opportunity. We're proud of Walnut Grove High School and this athletic program and these kids. And so thanks for the opportunity. We're not changing anything. Our approach doesn't change. Going in, last year was our first year, and we honestly had no expectations of going into last year. We knew it was going to be hard. We got put in an unbelievable district. We didn't know what we had. All we knew is we had a bunch of kids that worked really, really hard. That's what we knew. And so our approach is every day just to be the best we can be the best student we can be, the best person, the best athlete. And, our kids went to work and, and we're fortunate to sneak up on some people. And so, like I said, our goal was we just wanted to build this program to where we were in the same conversation when you talked about these elite programs, when you talked about the Lovejoys and Highland Parks and all these big time programs, we just want to be in the conversation. And, and we were able to sneak up on some people. Now, like you said, that's not going to be part of the issue next year. I don't think we'll be sneaking up on anybody next year, but our approach is no different. Just let's work, let's come and let's be the best we can be today, and not worry about district championships or playoffs. We don't do that. We just come and do the work and try to again do it the next day.
I tell you what, Coach, the more and more you said sneaking up on people made me feel like that was an insult when I said it to you, because I didn't mean it like that.
No.
The Emerson win was when you really kind of put yourself on the map. We were like, okay, Emerson is a playoff squad. Here's Walnut Grove. Okay, that's a team that we need to watch out for. And then you look up and down your roster. You take a look at the district MVP. And heck, that was a sophomore last year, right? And Hayes are a freshman.
That was a freshman.
Freshman. Yeah. And he's done 4 straight MVPs, right? for Hayes. Your thing with Hayes is to get him off the baseball field so that you can get him out here in spring workouts, because he's a heck of a ball player as well. Talk to me about the kind of skill position plays you have coming back, because you have to have Cam Newton and Zayden Crane coming back as well.
Yeah, we're fortunate to be blessed here. I'd be amiss if I didn't recognize, our senior class last year was incredible. It's a bunch of kids that made the decision to come to Walnut Grove, when they probably didn't have to. And so they committed to work so hard, and they were just great kids, great young men who paved the way for what we have now. So, and we're going to miss them, 44 of those seniors, we're going to miss those kids. But, going into this coming year, we still got some pieces here. We got, of course, like you said, Hayes, we ended up going with a freshman quarterback last year. They ended up being the MVP of the district, who's just a quality young man, just a great leader. And Cam Newton, who rushed for over 2,000 yards, what a great name he has. And he's a special player as well. And, our first playoff game had 48 rushes for 350 yards. And so it was just different people at different time. You got Hayden Cooley coming back as a receiver that had over 600 yards receiving, that started as a sophomore. Like you said, Zayden Crane came in, and when Jack Stewart, one of our seniors, got hurt, had to step in and made some big down the field catches for us. So, that's huge for us, but a big piece of it is our offensive line is going to be a huge piece for us. We got, Lucas Hickey coming back, our left tackle, who's been a 2-year starter, has got several offers already. And then the rest of those got some young guys going to go up front. We're going to be bigger up front. And I think that offensive lines group is going to be okay. But, the biggest thing for us is going to be the leap. We're going to need to take another step forward defensively. I think offensively we're going to be okay. And defensively, we made a huge step from year 1 to year 2. I think we gave up 50 points a game year 1 in that rogue season. Last year, it was closer to 30. And if we can make another little bitty step defensively, that's really, really going to help us.
Where do you think you're going to look defensively during the spring workouts and summer workouts? Where is your eyes going to go looking for a player to step up at a certain position?
Yeah, so first of all, we started a freshman nose guard there, who was a all district player for us, who's a tremendous talent as well. But our leadership's going to come from our linebacker position. Keller Pittenger's coming back as a starter inside. Another one of our kids, Brock Hatcher, who we were counting on last year to be sort of one of our alpha players towards ACL the year before. And so we didn't even have him. So he'll be back at full strength. Our biggest question is going to be in the secondary. We're just finding the pieces to make that hole back there, because with our district, we got teams that can fling that ball, they can run it. And so that's one area that we're really emphasizing, making a point of emphasis for us. And the kicker for us is, we got a freshman team that's undefeated, even though you moved up the quarterback and you moved up the nose guard, that group still went undefeated. And we got some really quality players in there. And also we had a JV that went 8-2 that they lost 2 games by a touchdown, which was probably coaching. So you know how that goes. But you got a very talented group there as well. So that's going to be a big part, is what can we do on that back end to solidify, what we're doing defensively.
I guess lastly, let's talk about the district, because regardless of what 4 teams make the playoffs, whoever that 5th team is, it's going to be a shocker. It's going to be extremely disappointed. Like it's one thing to have teams like maybe Memorial, they're just looking for improvement. If they don't make the playoffs, that's fine. But that 5th team is going to be shocked out of you, Melissa, Emerson, Lovejoy, Anna. Talk to me about fighting it off with such quality teams in that district.
Yeah, that's one thing about this district. People say the district of doom, and people kind of laugh at you and go, everybody thinks their district's the best. But man, the quality of this district's unbelievable. It really is. I mean, it's like you said, there's really, really good football team that could probably win several of the districts in the state of Texas that will get left out. And, and the margin of error is so small in this district. It could come down to one play. For example, the Emerson game came down to one play. And, it could be in the first quarter, it could be in the last quarter. So that's huge, and so that's going to be something that's going to be so important as you go. So every game is important. That game, we open up with Emerson, the 3rd game of the year. That's a huge game for us. And so that's going to be huge, and it came down, I guess, last game of the year came down to who got in, who didn't. Emerson was able to sneak in, and Melissa ended up getting 5th. But, Melissa could easily win the district this next year. So wow. And then there's several others. You mentioned Memorial and Denison, and there's several other schools that if you sleep on them, they're going to get you. And so the difference, I think, in our district is you have 4 or 5 elite programs. You got 5 teams that could go and not only make the playoffs, but make a run. And so, but at the end of the day, like I was saying earlier, all we can worry about is us. All we can focus is on us. And we know those teams are going to be good. So our job is to show up every day. Let's be the best Walnut Grove we can be and just see what happens when we get there.
Excellent. Well, thanks. And the luxury of being in the playoffs is you get 1 through 4 at 3-5A Division II, which 1 through 4 there is the same
no
as 1
joke.
through 5. I mean, what the heck? Anyway, Coach, I appreciate you joining me. Good luck during the off season, and we'll see you in August.
Wes, you're awesome, man. Thanks for all you do for high school sports, man. It's people like you that make it special. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Coach.